Now, day 15th of November 2024. Once again, thank you so much for joining us and allowing us into your space. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Mpango Magalu Mohammed is already with us on sign language. As we kick off with the Presidential Press Unit, President Yoweri Museveni has taken his war against poverty to Bunyoro sub-region with the launch of the 4-acre model. Museveni, who keeps intensifying his wealth creation gospel, emphasizes the need for cultivative use of land. This emphasis while launching the 4-acre model farming at Kikwaya Primary School grounds in Kakumiro district happened today.
Kikwaya Primary School grounds in Kakumiro district was the place to be on Friday afternoon. President Yoweri Museveni arrived to a thunderous and memorable welcome. He was here to launch the 4-acre model as piloted by Minister of State for Transport, Fred Byamukama.
Kwamba negozi takarukoto. Ebichori emeremeremu. Ebichori nibigonza itaka rukoto. Ebichori kintu kikuru muno tubyetaga betu nkete zenyankore nibigonza itaka rukoto etaba hano Bunyoro mukana muri metaba eyo nayo negonza itaka rukoto.
His explanation rotated around proper and optimal land use with various farming enterprises.
Na bwekyo tukasomesa abantu ti okulisa n'okulima bine emiringo ebiri. Omuringo gumu nekiturukweta mu ruzungu intensive agriculture, okora ahafunzire beto kayamu kikoto, kandi omuringo gundi ni extensive agriculture, okulima ningo okora ebitende sente nyingi beto kakora bingi.
Museveni expressed hope in this model as one of the game changers in poverty eradication.
Hati ensobi eri hamuntu itaka rutoito kukora ebirikwetenga okukora hakoto. This is the ahonu hikibaro kirikufera. Nena netano narabo mu Uganda yona tena itarakie nanu kahikaho. Na nkani kose rugambo okulembeka okose kibaro omukasuma kunubi rugambo benabe nikozesa.
Earlier, other leaders advanced similar messages to the public.
Abokuba obutunguru nacho kirime ekikuleta sente nyingi. Nja kuwereza video abokuba abantu babe bayizireke barora. Tutandikire nebintu ebindi.
We have like 100 homes per parish every year about enrolling on this program because tumanyire indi Bunyoro hano the average land holding capacity 84 to 5 acres abakusinga okalimu nabayina 3 acres to baitu around 4.
It is a full-scale war against poverty, and this 4-acre model is one of the weapons.
So we should utilize the smallest piece of land that we have to earn. And that's why the president is insisting on the 4-acre model.
It now remains to be seen how far locals will go in embracing this model. I'm Nafka Farida and Henry Krut.
Now, in a related story, President Yoweri Museveni has described the Minister of State for Works and Transport, Fred Byamukama, as a quick learner who, in the shortest period of time, has managed to put into practice his 4-acre model wealth creation gospel. Mr. Museveni was Friday on a tour of Mr. Fred Byamukama's farm in Kikwaya, Kakumiro district.
This farm, located in Chisala village, Kikwaya sub-county, Kakumiro district, belongs to a one Mr. Fred Byamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport. Majoring in coffee and banana growing, this is an extension of his Kamanyire 4-acre demonstration farm. Byamukama, Friday 15th November 2024, hosted President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to launch the 4-acre model campaign for Greater Kibale sub-region. The launch of the 4-acre model for Greater Kibale districts, and that at Kamanyire 4-acre demonstration farm, Byamukama welcomed the President amidst the afternoon downpour. It is Kakumiro, the host, Kagadi, Kibale, trying to move with us towards the freedom fighter then took time to feed the cattle at this farm. You can listen in here, the minister trying to explain to him what exactly the process looks like. President Museveni, in company of Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, ministers and local leaders, had a guided tour around this farm.
And then when he came, so I'm now a new leader, what? I said, if you want to be a new leader, you go and learn my... So he went to Kisoro. So he learned all this from Kisoro. He didn't know. I didn't know. But the problem is that people don't listen. Wasting time, it's not good.
Kamanyire 4-acre demonstration farm is as a result of President Museveni's wealth creation lectures to Mr. Fred Byamukama.
We are saying you can have small land, then later you expand and get big land. So here we have about 40 acres of coffee. We bought here, you can see this is the adjacent land, and when we bought here we have been planting coffee. And the 40 acres we have also started harvesting. So you can start from zero, you go up. And the message I'm giving to the community, when you're a leader, may do this to lead by example. When you show people what to do, it will be easy to lead them because they are happy. What makes people difficult to lead when they don't have money? But when they are earning their money, they can't even stress you. For example, the function we have had, I've got 21 cows free of charge.
After the tour, several cabinet ministers such as Matia Kasaija, Patricia Lukoma, Jennifer Namuyango, Godfrey Kabyanga, Frank Tumwebaze, among others, were impressed by Byamukama's work.
I have come to this area again. I see that really, I think people have been taking the president's message seriously. And I think it's high time that we wake up as leaders. That's why I'm so impressed by my colleague, Honorable Byamukama, because by doing this, it means that leaders, we are neither supposed to remain behind, or we are supposed to move together in this program of creating wealth for the nation, to enjoy ourselves and to prosper.
I've been impressed that the way Honorable Fred has sustained and even sustained and extended what the late Kamanyire was doing. Kamanyire was not a very educated man in schools, but he was a very shrewd businessman and a very hard-working man.
Indeed, the ministers testify that this is the trend which everybody must embrace.
I want to appreciate him. He has put up a learning center where people come and learn. But he has done extensive farming where he has the coffee here, over 20 acres of coffee. It is something that the rest of us as leaders must copy.
The problem people have, they come now like at my 4-acre model farm, they see poultry, piggery, they see artisanal grazing cows. Now someone goes home to dream to start at once. You start with one enterprise like pineapple.
The president later on joined the public gathering, which had gathered at Chikwaya Primary School playgrounds. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Robert Onyango. Now, Speaker of Parliament Annette Anita Mong has expressed the need for dialogue and cooperation between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, to resolve the conflict in the country. While speaking to a delegation of members of Parliament in her boardroom at Parliament, Mong pledged a Parliament of Uganda's unwavering support towards the ending of conflict in the DRC.
A delegation of members of parliament from the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has paid a courtesy call to the Speaker of Parliament, Annette Anita Mong. The leader of delegation, Honorable Lambert Mende Omalanga, appreciated Uganda's efforts and support in fighting groups that have caused instability in his country.
Madam Speaker, we recognize the contribution of the Ugandan People's Defense Forces, UPDF, in partnership with the Armed Force of DRC, in dismantling several ADF sanctuaries in North Kivu during Operation Suja. We affirm that the ADF criminals who pose a threat to both Uganda and DRC must be eradicated rather than merely displaced within the Congolese territory. Additionally, the recent arrest in a Ugandan refugee camp of recruiters from the M23 and the AFC underscores Uganda's credibility as a partner in addressing the Eastern DRC crisis. We appreciate Ugandan efforts and urge the imposition of strengthened sanctions on these criminals.
He said they seek Uganda's perspective the DRC can take to ensure peace and stability. DRC members of parliament also propose finalizing a bilateral framework between the DRC and Uganda.
We propose formalizing a bilateral consultation framework between the DRC and Uganda, composed primarily of elected representatives from the border provinces. This body will evaluate and monitor mutual commitments every 6 months.
The Speaker of Parliament, Annette Anita Mong, said during an engagement with her DRC counterpart in Accra, they discussed how Africa's problems should be resolved locally.
An MOU of a relationship between the members of Parliament of Congo within Eastern Congo and Ituri Forest, and then the members of Uganda from the same who are neighboring those regions. It is you who are the elected members of Parliament.
C'est vous qui êtes les élus du Parlement.
And we, the elected members of Parliament.
Et nous, les élus du Parlement.
To be able to speak to our locals, to make them understand that peace is a very vital aspect in life.
She expressed the need for both parliaments to strengthen their relationships and enact policies that can enhance bilateral trade ties.
How best we can have the policies that can enhance the trade ties between the two countries. And of course, for you to do that, you should be able to have free movement of people. And the free movement of people can only come out once you have the peace.
Mong used this opportunity to extend her invitation to her DRC counterpart to come and engage with her and the President of the Republic of Uganda on how to end the conflict in the DRC. I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Guita Vinci at Parliament.
Thank you very much. Both now government is putting up measures to ensure that all business and employment facilities have childcare spaces. This was revealed by Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amonge, during the high-level policy dialogue on childcare and women entrepreneurs.
Government has come up with a policy of putting childcare spaces in every market constructed around the country to ensure smooth trade and childcare.
So we are not starting from nowhere. Already at the moment, within the context of business, all the markets that are being constructed by government is mandatory that they should have daycare services. So if you go to all our markets that are constructed in all the cities and municipalities, you will find daycare facility attached to it.
Parliament has passed a bill to ensure that employers with over 50 employees must have childcare spaces at their workplaces.
As Parliament, we've already led by example. We have a kindergarten. We have a kindergarten which is supporting mothers in Parliament, and we have put in all facilities needed. If you visit it, you will see it's a very, very good example. But now, Honourable Minister, we did our part. The Employment Act, the Employment Bill, we passed it. Honourable Konihira has been on my neck on the floor. We did our part. Follow up on your bill. It was a joint bill. Follow up to ensure it is signed, so that we put up a clear requirement where we said if you have 50 employers plus, you must have a child care facility at your workplace.
The childcare support has been focusing on children between 0 and 3 years, leaving the gap of the older ages.
And the education focus has mainly been on 3 upwards. So there has been a gap, and I think that is where our focus for the moment needs to be addressed. And thanks to the evidence that has been generated under the GROW project, we should address ourselves to this particular gap, aware of the implication of this as a constraint to the growth of women entrepreneurship and their businesses.
A study conducted by the World Bank shows that there is a lack of access to affordable childcare facilities, and most of the women entrepreneurs improvise. Winnie Ainembaba's Katwire for UBC.
Indeed, women improvise quite a lot. Now, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honourable Nabanja Robina, represented by Honourable Millie Babalanda, has launched the NRM Manifesto Week at the office of the Prime Minister here in Kampala. The Manifesto Accountability Week, initiated by the Manifesto Implementation Unit, enables Ugandans to get first-hand updates on the progress of the projects designed for them by the government through the manifesto.
This Manifesto Week is an annual event which is meant to take stock of the cumulative milestones and achievements of the government on the implementation of this social contract made during 2021 electoral campaigns.
A mid-term review of this manifesto was undertaken from March to August 2024, and a report was generated. This mid-term review report was considered and passed by Cabinet on 4th of November 2024. I am happy to inform you that at mid-term, that is after 2 years and a half, the NRM government has been able to achieve 35% of the commitments, while 49% of the commitments are on track to be achieved. In simple terms, if we attain the required resources as planned, government can easily realize an 84% achievement of the manifesto commitments at the end of the implementation period.
Following the launch, the heads of various government ministries, departments and agencies charged with delivering services to Ugandans will, commencing November 19th next week, make live presentations on the progress made in the implementation commitments within their respective MDAs. As of December 2023, Uganda's electricity connectivity for both on-grid and off-grid stands at over 60%, with 22% of households having on-grid connections.
Electricity connectivity currently stands at 60% for both on-grid and off-grid connections, with on-grid connections reaching 22% as of December 2023.
Over 2 million households connections have been established, and for the first time, West Nile is connected to the national grid following the commissioning of the Nebi and Arua substations. The country's road network is expanding, with over 6,000 kilometers of roads either under construction, in commercial contracts, or awaiting funding. Notably, 543 kilometers of roads have been completed, while 561 kilometers are ongoing, and 422 kilometers are in signed contracts. Additionally, 28 bridges have been constructed.
In regard to transport infrastructure, a total number of 6,529 kilometers of national road projects have been undertaken.
Internet connectivity has reached over 66% of the country, with prices falling from $205 to $35 for general users and $70 for MDAs.
Out of this manifesto, there were themes, 5 themes, and out of these 5 themes, there were promises or commitments, and these commitments were 809. In other words, these are promises that the party put across the electorate, and on the basis of these promises, the people gave the party mandate to lead the country. It is a social contract, and when we are reviewing it, we must answer the question, to what extent had the party fulfilled what it promised to the electorate?
Under the YouGift Phase 1 initiative, 102 of 117 targeted city secondary schools have been constructed, though 100 sub-counties still lack a city secondary school.
The country is really on the takeoff stage, and this is the time all Ugandans must work together and make sure that we move this country to the next stage.
As the manifesto week unfolds, Ugandans will be keen to assess the progress made in these areas. Crispus Arinitwe, Dan Lugemwa, UBC News.
Thank you, Crispus and Dan. Now, Kisoro District Electoral Commission, chaired by Daniel Ayebare, has officially announced Grace Akifeza Ngabirano as the newly elected woman Member of Parliament for Kisoro District. The by-election was held to fill the seat left vacant after the passing of Honorable Sarah Mateke.
Grace Akifeza Ngabirano, running as an independent candidate, emerged victorious with 50,459 votes, defeating her closest rival Rose Kabajenyi of the ruling party NRM, who garnered 44,982 votes, and 4 other contestants. The election saw a low voter turnout, with many residents citing allegations of electoral malpractice. Despite these challenges, the National Electoral Commission chairperson Justice Simon Byabakama described the election process as generally peaceful and encouraged the residents of Kisoro to reconcile their differences and move forward.
It is high time we build firmly and decisively with electoral thuggery and vandalism to safeguard the growth of our democracy and deter others who harbor such inclinations.
Justice Byabakama also noted ongoing investigations into claims of vote rigging, but commended the district for successfully electing its representative.
While the exercise was quite peaceful, there were a few reported incidents of suspected electoral criminality. For example, at Usinani police station, Usanza sub-county, where there was alleged about staffing. Even though the exercise is being concluded, I urge law enforcement to have that episode and any other that may have occurred to be thoroughly investigated so that the perpetrators are brought to book.
Although many NRM supporters were notably absent at the vote tallying center, the party was represented by Dr. Tango Doi, chairperson of the NRM Electoral Commission, and Dr. Philemon Mateche, the father of the late Honorable Sarah Mateche. Both acknowledged and congratulated Akifeza on her victory, emphasizing the need for unity among Kisoro residents.
The 2 candidates within NRM have amassed 90% of the total votes. Then the presidential candidate will get almost 100% of the votes. An electoral process should not be seen as a do or die. And I think that's what the chairman of the commission emphasized since we started this process. It should be seen as a political trajectory for the future. Now, what are we as NRM looking at? we are looking at 2026.
In her victory speech, Grace Aki Feza-Ngabirano expressed gratitude to God and her supporters for the trust they placed in her. She acknowledged the challenges of the election and promised to focus on reconciling and uniting Kisoro residents, especially those divided during the campaign period.
Yes, I'm ready to reconcile, and I'm ready to work with whoever else is around. I believe this was just a game that was in. It is over, and we have to focus on working hard to make sure that we fulfill the obligation of being an MP.
Aki Feza extended a hand of cooperation to her opponents, urging them to join her in working for the development of the district.
They tried to keep disrupting me, but I knew I had a bigger role to play, and I didn't want to just look to be derailed. I had to concentrate on forming this whole system that helped us win this election.
Dr. Tango Doi called for an end to political and religious divisions, which he attributed in part to some religious leaders, and encouraged residents to come together for the good of the district.
Politics within the Kigezi sub-region and Bufumbira, or this island here, has taken a religious twist. And if one analyzes those results like we've done already, you go and follow those results along the churches, you'll find that the candidates are leaning with heavy results towards the churches. I want to say it very plainly. You cannot say the primaries, where the difference was 744, is the cause of our problem.
Following the announcement, jubilant supporters of Grace Aki Feza-Ngabirano held processions through Kisoro, celebrating her victory.
Congratulations, Honorable. Now, Government Chief Whip Dennis Hamson Alboa has rallied Ugandans benefiting from government programs to prioritize livestock farming as one of the more profitable enterprises to transform their livelihood. While assessing the progress of the parish development model and a Myoga in a Leptong district, Mr. Alboa noted that most beneficiaries are failing because of enterprise selection.
The government chief whip, Dennis Samson Obua, has toured the Leptong district to assess the progress of the parish development model and the Myoga livelihood programs.
The NRM government, under the leadership of President Museveni, introduced two very important programs in the fight against poverty. That is a Myoga, which was followed by PDM. They are success stories, but there are also stories of people who received the money but failed. Under Myoga, the biggest challenge is low recovery rate. That is stopping the 18 groups from receiving the additional 20 million shillings that each and every group that meets the test is receiving.
During the tour, Obua met different beneficiaries in 3 different barazas that attracted several beneficiaries who shared their stories on the impact of the PDM and the Myoga. Apart from the success stories, beneficiaries also highlighted some significant challenges that they experienced.
People are failing because deliberately they get money, then turn it into doing something else. We have now even talked to the prospective beneficiaries to go for good enterprises that can yield good results. Poultry, piggery, goats rearing, dairy cows, coffee, those are high-yielding enterprises. So we have appealed to them. We have guided them.
Rita Namwenge, the national coordinator for Imyoga and a consultant with the PDM, promised to deal with the culprits and safeguard the integrity of the program.
Government sends 500,000 for the sub executive. Parish Development Committee, government also facilitates with 1 million shillings per year. So they are not supposed to pick any money from you.
We want our people safe and rich to make sure that there is food security and income security.
Aleptong district has received a total of 14.4 billion shillings for PDM, but about 700 million shillings remains undisbursed due to errors in capturing beneficiary data.
And also some system challenges that has delayed us a bit, but we're in the process of correcting that.
Aleptong district also received 2.1 billion shillings for Imyoga for 36 SACCOs. The district is now engaging with the SACCOs to improve recoveries. Ediulwa, UBC News.
Now, Uganda Cranes has lost to South Africa 2-0 in a scoreless draw in a dead rubber game that both teams approached with AFCON 2025 qualification status secured. But though the fans were also aware of the ramifications, it didn't spoil the party mood, as our reporter John Barnes sent more highlights.
As early as 8 a.m., soccer fans had started thronging Mandela National Stadium Nambole. It was party mood as the fans enjoyed themselves, knowing that contrary to many other occasions, they go into this with AFCON 2025 qualification already sealed. The passion and enthusiasm exhibited since morning never died down and continued during the game that, despite Uganda losing, was worth an outing for many. As it stands, South Africa tops Group K with 11 points and Uganda second on 10.
We know that it would be a tough game, but that we played this bad, I didn't expect, because I have no signal during the training. On training, everybody was feeling good. What we have been trying to do was good. Today, nothing was good. I think first half, we didn't give much chances away, but we didn't create also.
Congo-Brazzaville is third on 4, while South Sudan's 3 points leave it rock bottom. Uganda returns to action next Tuesday with an away fixture against Congo-Brazzaville.
We have 2 days and we have to travel to Congo. So tomorrow we will start giving the players again the confidence, but we will first analyze the game. We will be showing also what we have been doing, what was wrong, what was less wrong. So I think, like I said, we don't have much time, and it's important that the players have the confidence because we want to have a good result in Congo.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Box, winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Take 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Take 10. Sports Take 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Akomo. Asiri koja tukwasa. Vayo na wasajja batusonyiye. Chikakasi. Vayo.
Government has done it. Uganda Revenue Authority has taken you off the burden of paying interests and penalties. All you have to do is to pay your outstanding principal tax to benefit from the waiver of interests and penalties that runs till the end of December 2024. Call us on our toll-free line or email services@ura.go.ug.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
At Uganda Development Bank, we are committed to empowering communities by supporting projects that unlock excellent economic benefits for Ugandans through job creation, tax contribution, output value, and foreign exchange. We seek partnerships with projects that drive economic development in Uganda.
Vocational education does more of equipping of different skills, ranging from hairdressing, tailoring, catering, and so on. So those are basically the courses that we do, and we do them in different levels. My relationship with UDB came through Yuga Privi. I'm registered with Private Institutions Association. So one time we were invited for a meeting as proprietors of schools, and UDB sold in their idea of offering loans for some of us who are still developing. So Ray happened to be one of those that is not yet fully established. Of course, being a private institution, we didn't have enough structures. So I applied for a loan, and that is how our relationship started. And yeah, so I got the first installment, putting up the preliminaries and the substructure, and the structure is being worked on. I really want to thank UDB so much because their interest is pretty low. And I must say, UDB nafunamu. Thank you so much, UDB, for supporting vocational education.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Welcome back from that short break. We are glad you're still tuned onto the only channel that tends to educate. Now over to Bugisu Busoga. Stakeholders in Bugisu sub-region want an inquiry into actions of the RDCs who are said to have steered land conflicts. During the closing day of the engagement in Busoga Bugisu region consultations, participants blamed RDCs for being involved in the improper allocation and land selling. The engagements were convened by the Ministry of Lands.
Execution of their daily duties, where given the mandate to look at land issues. Some of the problems begin there.
Consultations on the draft national land policy in Busoga and Bugisu regions have ended with a call on inquiry into actions of resident district commissioners. During the engagements, most participants faulted RDCs and RCCs for participating in the illegal sale of public land and connivance in illegal issuance of land titles.
I had Obama from the north. The way he perceives land is different from a Muganda who was an RDC in my place. Because for him, he traditionally grew knowing about what? Mairo land. So if any traditionally does say, then they say the Antu-Yaringa Kabaka, Etakadili. Meanwhile, the land in Busoga is again owned what? He will talk about the Chibanja Netaka. For us, Busoga are not experts with the Chibanja Netaka.
Stakeholders noted that most land disputes and evictions have been steered by the growing pressure and illegal occupancy of the land. They want issues relating to compensation, land tenure systems, and decentralization of land rights revised by the draft land policy. They also asked for establishment of a land fund to facilitate equitable land distribution.
Instances where we have had the courts of law actually ruling against some of the landowners. But when you look, if you have the committee specifically for this function, we would be actually eliminated out of this from the courts of law. You have had people having land grabbers using those and using codes of law. So if we have a specific committee for this, I think it can do a very good job for our country.
My colleague put it here is that the committee should be equated with the powers of the High Court. That's why my concern is, in my understanding, that committee that will be resolving those land grievances would be a quasi-judicial organ whose decision is or recommendation is can be appealed against the High Court. So when you equate it to the level of the High Court, you would be eroding some powers of the High Court.
The acting director, Land Administration in the Ministry of Lands, Naomi Kabanda, emphasized government's commitment to resolve all land disputes.
And these are government initiatives to ensure that they eliminate not only land disputes, but that people get documentation for their piece of land. Other initiatives have included looking at women's land rights.
The nationwide consultations on the review of the national land policy will continue in Ankole and Kigezi sub-regions next week. Susan Naonga reporting for ABC TV.
Now, the Songora community in Kasese district continue to grapple with a severe water crisis that disrupts their daily lives and poses significant challenges to their health and livelihood. The pressing concerns were raised by the Busongora King, His Royal Highness and Dahura II Kashagama during a discussion on a platform organized by WellNet Uganda, Water and Environment Media Network Uganda in partnership with other stakeholders.
The Basongora were historically settled within the boundaries of a national park. Their eviction and subsequent resettlement outside the park were met with resistance, primarily due to fears about losing access to basic necessities like clean and safe water. Despite eventually agreeing to move, these fears have become a harsh reality in their new location, where water scarcity has become a daily struggle.
The water that's coming from Sebwe River contains little red worms. They look like threads. You can put your stick there and just raise it, and you'll see these little threads, and they are very dangerous for cattle. Nyamwamba doesn't have these worms, but it has copper excess, tailings. Nyamagasani has other issues. So the issue is, I think that the water management system in general is a problem.
A single tap serves over 100 households, with additional displaced families further straining this mega resource.
But, you watch 100 people who've just been working the whole day in handling rotting flesh of cattle and skins, and then they'll go and bathe, and then 100 meters down the road, young children are collecting the same water. Even if you boil it, there are certain types of stuff that are not going to get killed, right? And it's a real concern. And you complain, we need this management thing, and then these companies come and pay people off, or they intimidate the LC3s and LC1s and whatever, and this continues.
The scarcity leaves families struggling to cook, clean and maintain basic hygiene. At the family level, some resort to buying water at 500 shillings per jerrycan, or spending significant time boiling river water, increasing financial and labor burdens.
So when the animals, the productivity is low in terms of milk production, then you get to know that since the main activity is farming, then there is low income in the family. So when there is low income, so food becomes a very big problem in our families. So you find there is a very big challenge in terms family violence. So we believe that the water, it is one of the factors that is causing that.
School children and teachers also face the brunt of the crisis, with students spending hours fetching water instead of focusing on their studies, leading to poor academic performance.
But we have a problem of a girl child drop out of school. Habwa amazed gabarukunywa gabasiriza maino. Omwana najo wakuka mu secondary level nabatachiseka. Hati abojo bakumusekera rugayo. Bakumara ku rugayo kusitama hano abojo bamuterende. Abanyina bamutwara kumweza amaino. Very expensive koja amaino gabana amarwaro kagando and mbarara. Nichitwara omuzeire sente zikulenge mitwaro 10.
The water crisis has led to strained family relationships and heightened social issues.
Ekyamaizi n'abajanti kintu kuba abaana banje n'obari kuza kusoma nibagenda bati obundu n'okubanza nkaza kuserra kiburaro twizo twa tapu bagenzire bati ndebe nguninyisa kuserra yo twizi ekidomora kubatekera ekyokurya kandi obu nimba hatu twokunaaba batonaba bagarukayo bakibabaiza bundu n'okurara barara batanabira amaizi gaturukubi busunga tutwine busingi.
Local representatives also highlighted their frustrations with unfulfilled government promises spanning over 30 years.
But up to now, I'm appealing to government. If government could really hear our cry and provide us with safe water, for safe and clean water for drinking and using, and even giving to our animals. That was my cry to government. We have a big problem. You see, Kasese has its own problems, which are not like other districts. Here, our leader, you see, for us, as Wasongora, really, it's these days that we have councillors at the district who can now speak and they hear at least, but you find one or two. So most of these commitments are made by the district, and these are countries, they don't mind about our well-being, our welfare.
WomenNet Uganda, in collaboration with other partners, has enabled the Basongora community to voice their challenges and demands to key stakeholders, aiming to bring their plight to the forefront of national attention. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, drawing digital impact, the 2024 Digital Impact Awards Africa, alongside with Digital and Financial Inclusion Summit, have taken place in Kampala, organized by HIPIPO and officiated by the State Minister for ICT, Honorable Joyce Nabosa Sebugwawo. The event provided a platform to champion digital inclusion, financial inclusion, and cybersecurity.
The Digital Impact Awards celebrate stakeholders advancing the use of digital technologies to serve communities and promote digital excellence across the continent.
We have been championing and advocating for ensuring that every single individual, like the UN stated it clearly that access to internet is supposed to be a human right. We have been championing access by ensuring that we bring together stakeholders in digital transformation, in financial inclusion, to give access to different users, especially those at the bottom of the pyramid, to tools and products and services that help them leverage digitization, especially that uses internet to maximize their digital dividend.
The Ministry of ICT emphasized that harnessing Uganda's digital dividend is critical to accelerating socio-economic development.
IPIPO has played a big role in bringing digital and financial services to communities in need. Your efforts in FinTech, especially through the Women in FinTech initiative, have created new opportunities for women and youth in Uganda's digital economy.
Stakeholders from the business and technology sectors shared insights on the progress and challenges of Uganda's digitization journey.
Finance for all traders is a big issue, access to capital. But for these women and for the cross-border traders, it is more dire. Most of them are informal, as you've heard from Margaret and the panel before. So this means they are not known by URSB, they don't have any of the documents that banks are going to require.
Notable winners in various categories included FutureLink Technologies FinTech of the Year, AgriShare Uganda Consumer Goods and Services Digital Excellence or Gold Award, Equity Bank Digital Banking Excellence or Gold Award, and Finca MFI Banking Innovation Excellence.
It works for me and works for everybody when every company that is here is doing their best to shine the light of fintechs and inclusion. So we must grow up. And then lastly, comply. Do your best to comply.
the digital impact on the African continent has been significant, with various aspects of society being transformed by technology. Currently, there are ongoing efforts to address the challenges and ensure a more inclusive digital future.
Now, Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs Balam Barugahara has encouraged the youth to embrace technology as it enables them to access employment opportunities. Speaking at the International Conference on the Use of Technology in Business held at Esbat University main campus, Mr. Barugahara emphasized the need for youth to harness the potential of technology in building their future.
It was once upon a time.
Curtains have fallen on the International Conference on Disruptive Technology in the Business World, held at Esbat University. The conference that aimed at gathering ideas on the use of technology for development closed with an appeal to sensitize people on internet use to prevent cybercrimes. Officiating the closing ceremony, State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs Balam Barugahara urged the youth to actively engage in technology as a way to thrive in the modern world.
Addressing these challenges require a proactive approach, such as upskilling employees and establishing clear governance around technology use. Therefore, the international conference is highly significant to discuss, elaborate, bring out the new knowledges, to address the challenges and the way forward to implement this disruptive technology in Africa.
With the current internet penetration still low, Barugahara stated that government is working on plans to expand access to affordable internet, starting with major cities. The Managing Director, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Winston Nagaba, noted that there is a strong need to educate people on proper use of technology in order to reduce the risks of online exploitation.
This is an area where PhD students have taken it up, and we believe that from the PhD theses that come out from cybersecurity, we should be able to have a homegrown solution, homegrown packages that address our issues here in the country, not just Uganda, but in the region and in the world. So we are optimistic that the knowledge base is the answer to cybersecurity.
Fred Jachan Omach, Esbat University Chancellor, explained that the institution is committed to training students in technology to solve real-world problems.
This is the most IT compliant university, I think, in the whole of East Africa. We are getting people who are coming from other universities in Uganda here and also in East Africa and elsewhere that come to see what Esbat is doing, the innovations that we are doing.
We want to tell the people, we have an audience of academicians, researchers, industries. So we want to tell them, use disruptive technologies to accelerate. So you have less investment, but you can have a higher outcome.
The conference featured experts in technology from various African countries, exchanging knowledge and strategies for advancing technological innovations across the continent.
And I would like to thank Uganda Broadcasting Corporation for giving us coverage for this event. If you don't watch UBC, please tune in at 8 p.m., at 10 p.m. The most reliable news, the most reliable, not only the government, but the most reliable without lies.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Andrew Sebida, UBC News.
To be a winner, you must have the discipline of a tiger. But when you fuel with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations! Your car is happy, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, in partnership with the Iteso Culture Union, invites you to the Childcare Reunion Festival 2024 to take place from the 27th to the 29th November 2024. The festival will be held at the Sports Ground, Soroti City. The festival will have dialogues involving the youth, women and elders, showcasing music performances, art exhibitions, cultural exhibitions, and food fairs showcasing the diversity of the Atekar communities. The festival theme, celebrating shared heritage, forging a path towards peace, prosperity and cultural renaissance. Please join us and be part of history as Uganda hosts for the first time East Africa's Atekar-speaking communities festival, spanning across the diverse ethnic groups from Ethiopia, South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. The chief guest will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. He will be joined by other presidents from the region as well as other dignitaries, including kings, cultural leaders and chiefs from Uganda, Africa and beyond.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
The Homes and Construction Expo is back. Are you looking for answers to your property and real estate development questions? Come and interact with experts in the industry including architects, engineers, developers, interior designers, financiers and more from 30th November to 1st December 2024. The expo will be at the Millennium Park opposite Philip Omondi Stadium under the theme Affordable Housing, Innovations and Technology. There will be captivating exhibitions and insightful discussions daily. Entrance is only 10,000 shillings per day. To book a stall, contact 0772 354 940. The Homes and Construction Expo is brought to you by New Vision.
Welcome back. It's time for us to step into the world of business. Now, National Drug Authority (NDA) has seized boxes of government-issued ARV drugs valued at 300 million Ugandan shillings from smugglers in Nansana. The suspects include one Ronald Mumbere Godfrey and Mwesigwa Godfrey, who were arrested during the raid in Nansana municipality.
4 people, who include Mumbere Godfrey, Mwesigwa Godfrey, and one Ronald, have been arrested in Nansana with antiretroviral drugs, ARVs, worth 300 million Uganda shillings. The 4 were arrested by police investigators together with National Drug Authority officials following a tip-off from a whistleblower.
Through intelligence-led surveillance and operation, arrested one Chivalia Ronald Ndutusawa, who was in unlawful possession of government drugs. These are ARVs, totaling to 720 tins that amount to 64,800 doses. Mr. Ndutusawa, who works with Kamuri Hospital, was arrested together with his enablers, including Mwesigwa Moses, Mumbere Godfrey, and Bwambare Walter.
The suspects were intercepted in Nansana Municipality, Wakiso District, as they were transporting the boxes of ARVs in a private vehicle. A total of 12 boxes of the ARVs that were recovered are believed to have been stolen from Kamuli Hospital by one of the suspects that is employed there.
One Moses, from what we understand, Ronald Chivalia Nditusawa, we've verified that he has been working at Kamuri Hospital as a dispenser. Now, dispensers are the ones who are supposed to give out the drugs. So he's been using actually his direct access. And of course, he doesn't work alone. That we leave it to police like I mentioned, he's already with the Central Police Station in Kampala. We leave it to police to follow up and find. From what all the drug theft cases we've handled, it is syndicate. It's extremely hard to break.
National Drug Authority spokesperson Abias Ramwiri revealed that this year alone they have seized drugs worth over 2 billion Uganda shillings smuggled from government hospitals.
So the value of this is over 300 millions. And just like I mentioned, just in 1 year alone, we've been able to recover over 2.5 billion worth of stolen government drugs.
The shortage of drugs in government hospitals has been highly attributed to drug theft by government workers in hospitals. The suspects are being held at the Central Police Station in Kampala pending further investigation.
And of course, they are selling them at a much cheaper price, taking them out of the country. We have intelligence information that these end up in southern Sudan and Congo, where they are sold at premium. Of course, such deprive Ugandans access to the drugs that they need.
National Drug Authority has appealed to the public to always collaborate with authorities to report such incidents. Approximately 2.5 billion shillings is lost in theft and smuggling of medicines from government hospitals. Joseph Muyingo compiled this report.
Brought to you by download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. Wendy Wanaori.
Now, on the sports desk, thousands of fans have thronged Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, to witness the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier action between Cranes and South Africa's Bafana Bafana. Let's hear more in this report.
Thank God that as a nation we have Uganda Railways, which does a good job, especially on occasions like this, when the Uganda Cranes are in action at Mandela National Stadium, Nambole.
What we realize, it has become part of Ugandan football. It has become part of the campaigns of Uganda Cranes, and we just want to tell Ugandans that we are going to do this over and over again, and every time our national team is flying our national flag.
Like has been the case on previous occasions, the fans have yet again used this mode of transport that takes a maximum 20 minutes to Nambole, which if on a taxi with the traffic associated with the road can last hours.
Train erinda abantu netwala abantu basuka mu 2,200 nebayiwayo nekomawo nenuna teteriko kabenje konda kebekoze eddakiika 15 beddakiika 3 ebetuuse n'okuja ate nenuna abalala kyamukisa bulungi nnyo naffe ffenna nga bwe tuli wano tunabagera okuyingira omulundi gumu mu train omulundi mwegende.
Though the train has ferried fans for previous Uganda Cranes engagements, this particular game has witnessed record-breaking numbers, with each trip to Nambole having more than 900 passengers.
In normal routes, the trains are full, and our passengers are always satisfied. Now in explosive routes like these ones, we find that we are overwhelmed by the passengers. And this also comes at a cost. In that while at station, you find the passengers, the football revelers, outnumber some of the operatives. In that controlling them at station sometimes become a little difficult.
The people that turned up to use this mode of transport were from all walks of life, including the affluent and honorable, all for the love of the Uganda cranes.
We are going to support the Uganda cranes. We are very honored and humbled that our players made it to the finals, that we have already qualified. We can't wait to have African Cup here back home. So today we have come to support our own Uganda cranes team.
The mood wasn't deterred by the fact that ahead of this game the cranes had secured its place in Morocco for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations.
Kupagira mupiira sikirabangako nga Uganda Cranes esigaze emipiira ebiri ne qualifyingirawo kyewuunyisa nnyo era kyabyafaayo gyeri n'olwensonga eyo nsanyuka nnyo era nakubasaba okuva olunaku lwajjo sinaba kwebakako abantu nabagamba nakuma lwakusatu olwokuna mbadde mu kubeya olwokutaano nakati nkyali mu kudigida era nategeezezza abeeka ze baninde ku lwakubiri okuddeeka kubanga lwendasanga amasanyu agasinga getubaddeko nanyimirira.
This latest qualification to the Africa Cup of Nations is the 8th for Uganda, with the first coming in 1962 and the best in 1978, when a Philip Omondi-inspired team finished second. The 2-0 win for South Africa means they lead Group K on 11, and Uganda Cranes is second on 10. The team returns to action on Tuesday with an away fixture against Congo-Brazzaville to complete Group K. By start of the day, 15 countries including Cameroon, Nigeria, Egypt and Senegal had already secured their slots in Morocco 2025.
Well, thank you so much for sticking it with us right from 8 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Mugalu Mohammed has been with us on sign language. From the entire news team, let's meet again at 10 o'clock.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Homes and Construction Expo is back. Are you looking for answers to your property and real estate development questions? Come and interact with experts in the industry including architects, engineers, developers, interior designers, financiers and more from 30th November to 1st December 2024. The expo will be at the Millennium Park opposite Philip Omondi Stadium under the theme Affordable Housing, Innovations and Technology. There will be